In a world where trust is often misplaced and silence can feel safer than speaking up, one young girl found herself trapped in a shadowy realm of despair. Lily, once a vibrant artist, suddenly fell victim to the subtle but cruel manipulations of a teacher who was supposed to inspire her. As her laughter faded into whispers and her colorful drawings turned dark, hope seemed to slip through her fingers like sand. But in the depths of her struggle, a true friend emerged. A brave boy named Noah, whose courage would set in motion a chain of events that would not only challenge the authority of a beloved educator, but also shine a spotlight on a hidden epidemic affecting countless children. This story is not just about one girl's suffering. It's a rallying cry for all those who've ever felt unheard or invisible, and a testament to the transformative power of friendship in the face of cruelty. Are you ready to uncover the truth behind the silence? Once upon a time, there was a girl named Lily who lit up every room with her infectious laughter and vivid imagination. It wasn't just her charming smile that captivated everyone. It was the colorful world she created with her drawings. Friends would gather around her during art class, marveling at her talent and creativity. But recently, something shifted. Mornings that were once filled with excitement had turned quiet. Her mother, Helen, couldn't help but notice how the joy seemed to have been sucked out of their home. "Lily, sweetheart, what happened to your drawings? They used to be so bright," Helen would gently ask, hoping for a glimpse into her daughter's world. But Lily would simply shrug, her eyes a shadow of the vibrant spark they once held. It was as if a thick fog had settled over her spirit, and Helen's heart ached to see her daughter retreat into a shell. As days passed, the darkness in Lily's art grew more pronounced. The swirling colors that once danced across the pages had transformed into bleak scribbles, each stroke a reflection of her inner turmoil. "It's just a phase," Helen reassured herself, but deep down, she feared it was something much deeper. The laughter that once echoed through the house was now replaced by silence. Lily spent her afternoons in her room, the door closed, isolating herself from the world outside. Helen recalled her own childhood, where a similar fog had clouded her vision, but she felt helpless to pull Lily from the depths of her despair. Maybe a new hobby could cheer her up, Helen thought, but every attempt to engage Lily was met with indifference. It was heartbreaking watching her once bright daughter slip away into a world of shadows. Little did they know, this emotional decline was only the beginning of a much larger struggle. The subtle changes in Lily were the first whispers of a troubling story that had yet to unfold. As she battled her inner demons, the roots of her sadness ran deeper, entangled with experiences that no child should have to face. What was causing Lily's once colorful world to fade into grayscale? The answer lurked just around the corner, waiting to emerge like a dark storm cloud ready to unleash its fury. And in the midst of this emotional chaos, there was a glimmer of hope on the horizon, a chance for someone to notice, to step in, and to make a difference. At school, a different reality awaited Lily, one that seemed to conspire against her radiant spirit. Mr. Foster, her teacher, had a reputation for being strict but fair, or so it seemed at first glance. However, beneath that polished facade lay a darker side. He had a knack for delivering critiques that, though cloaked in the guise of constructive feedback, felt more like barbs aimed at her confidence. "Lily, you really need to pay attention. Your last project was, well, let's just say it lacked imagination," he would say, his voice dripping with condescension. Those words stung, leaving Lily feeling small and insignificant in a classroom filled with her peers. While others giggled and collaborated, Mr. Foster made sure to isolate her, choosing to leave her out of group projects or discussions, fostering a sense of loneliness that shadowed her every day. Lily's joy, once a constant companion, began to evaporate in the face of Mr. Foster's relentless jabs. She started to dread school, her heart racing at the thought of facing him again. "I wish I could just disappear," she confessed to Noah, her best friend, during a brief moment of solace at recess. Noah, ever the observant one, could see the toll it was taking. "You don't have to face this alone, Lily. You're not invisible," he reassured her, trying to infuse a bit of light into her heavy heart. But Lily, shrouded in despair, found it hard to believe. Each day felt like a battle, and the weight of Mr. Foster's words pressed down on her like a suffocating blanket. It was a cycle that seemed endless, and the true extent of her suffering was lost on the adults around her. But sometimes it takes just one person to ignite a spark of courage amidst despair. As Noah watched Lily's spirit dim, he couldn't shake the feeling that this wasn't just a phase. It was bullying, and it needed to be addressed. After witnessing Mr. Foster's latest outburst, where he publicly humiliated Lily in front of the class, Noah's heart raced with determination. "Enough is enough," he muttered under his breath. He knew he had to act, but what could he do against a figure of authority? It wasn't long before he found himself knocking on the principal's door, fueled by a mix of anxiety and resolve. With a shaky voice, he detailed everything he had seen, hoping to shed light on Lily's suffering. And yet, as the door closed behind him, he felt a twinge of doubt. Would anyone believe him? Would they take a child's words seriously? In the midst of darkness, the bond of friendship can shine the brightest light. Noah, determined to help Lily, became her unwavering ally in the face of adversity. Every day he made it a point to check in on her, bringing her favorite snacks to share during lunch. "I've got your favorite, peanut butter and jelly," he announced one day, grinning widely. Lily managed a faint smile, grateful for the small gesture. "Thanks, Noah. It's the only thing that tastes good lately," she replied, her voice barely above a whisper. They'd sit together in the cafeteria, Noah's laughter contrasting sharply with Lily's quiet demeanor. He spun tales of heroics and adventure, trying to coax her laughter back into the open. But the shadows lingered, and Noah could feel the weight on Lily's shoulders growing heavier by the day. One fateful afternoon, everything changed. As they settled into their seats, the classroom buzzed with excitement over a project presentation. But then Mr. Foster targeted Lily with one of his trademark comments. "I'm not sure why anyone thought it would be wise to let you speak," he sneered, making the whole class go silent. The air turned thick with tension, and Noah's stomach churned. He couldn't believe what he had just witnessed. His heart raced with indignation. "You can't treat her like that," he shouted, standing up in a mix of shock and anger. The classroom froze, and all eyes turned to him. Lily's face turned pale, embarrassment washing over her like a tidal wave. "Noah, don't," she pleaded, but Noah felt a fire ignite within him. This wasn't just about his friend anymore. It was about standing up against something profoundly wrong. The moment Noah stepped forward was pivotal, not just for him, but for Lily as well. After the class, he took a deep breath and approached Principal Hall, his palms sweaty and his heart pounding. "I need to talk to you about Mr. Foster," he said, determination lacing his words. "He's bullying Lily, and it's not okay." Principal Hall's eyebrows knitted together in disbelief. "You must be mistaken. Mr. Foster has been a dedicated teacher for years," he replied, brushing off Noah's concerns. But Noah wasn't deterred. He pressed on, recounting every incident, every unkind remark, as if painting a vivid picture of Lily's plight. It felt as if he was fighting a battle, not just for her, but for all the kids who might feel silenced. Little did they know, this act of courage would set into motion a chain of events that could change everything. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows over the school, Principal Hall sat behind his desk, contemplating Noah's fervent claims. Initially, he dismissed the boy's concerns, confident in the long-standing reputation of Mr. Foster. Kids often misinterpret a teacher's feedback as harshness, he thought, shaking his head at the notion of bullying. But as Noah's earnest words echoed in his mind, the principal felt a nagging doubt creep in. Could it be possible that beneath Mr. Foster's well-respected surface lay a troubling truth? While he had seen Mr. Foster's dedication over the years, the idea that he could be causing harm to a student was a bitter pill to swallow. Still, the reality of the situation was hard to ignore, especially when Noah insisted, It's not just me. Lily needs help. Meanwhile, Helen was becoming increasingly aware of the troubling signs. As she listened to Noah's account of events, her maternal instincts kicked in. Determined to protect her daughter, she began gathering evidence, reaching out to other parents and students, hoping to piece together a clearer picture of Lily's school life. "I know my daughter," Helen told a friend, her voice trembling with urgency. "This isn't just a phase. Something is wrong, and I need to get to the bottom of it." Word of her investigation spread, and soon testimonies started to trickle in. Other students echoed Noah's experiences, sharing their own observations of Mr. Foster's hurtful comments directed at Lily. Each story added a layer of credibility to the claims, and Helen felt a glimmer of hope. Then came Alice, a teaching assistant who had been quietly documenting her observations for months. She had witnessed the subtle manipulation and isolation that Lily endured at the hands of Mr. Foster. "I just thought someone would speak up," she admitted, her voice filled with regret. With her notes in hand, Alice approached Helen, offering crucial evidence that would turn the tide. "These records show a pattern, and it's time we did something about it," she said, her determination palpable. Together, they compiled a dossier of incidents, each instance meticulously documented, revealing a chilling picture of ongoing bullying. As they presented this information to Principal Hall, the atmosphere shifted. No longer could he deny the reality of the situation. The pressure was mounting, and the investigation into Mr. Foster's behavior was about to unfold in ways no one anticipated. The weight of the evidence presented to Principal Hall could no longer be ignored. It sparked a whirlwind of activity within the school, igniting conversations that had long been brushed aside. The administration initiated an investigation into Mr. Foster's conduct, sending ripples of anxiety through the faculty. Teachers exchanged concerned glances in the break room, and parents began to rally around Helen and Noah, their collective voices growing louder. "We can't allow this to continue," one mother declared, her eyes aflame with passion. "Our children deserve better." As the investigation unfolded, it became clear that the cracks in the system ran deeper than anyone had realized. The school was suddenly a focal point for discussions about accountability, respect, and the role of educators in nurturing rather than stifling young minds. Amidst the chaos, Lily found herself at the heart of a movement she never intended to spark. With each passing day, her spirits began to lift, fueled by the knowledge that her story was resonating with others. She watched as her classmates rallied around her, offering encouragement and sharing their own experiences. "You're really brave, Lily," one friend said during art class, where the atmosphere felt lighter. "It takes guts to stand up for what's right." Though hesitant, Lily began to feel a sense of empowerment. The shadows that had loomed over her seemed to fade, replaced by a flicker of hope that she thought had vanished forever. It was as if the colorful world she once inhabited was slowly beginning to seep back into her life, and she embraced the support of her friends wholeheartedly. As the investigation drew to a close, the school unveiled new policies aimed at creating a safer, more inclusive environment for all students. Workshops were held to educate staff on the nuances of bullying, and support systems were put in place for students like Lily who had experienced emotional trauma. The transformation was palpable. Classrooms buzzed with a new energy as students felt heard and valued. "Look at all the changes happening," Noah exclaimed one day, his eyes bright with excitement. "It's like our voices actually matter." And indeed they did. Lily's journey, once marked by silence and isolation, had sparked a movement, inspiring not just her school, but igniting awareness across the nation about the importance of addressing bullying. With renewed confidence, Lily stepped into the light, ready to reclaim her narrative and inspire others to do the same. This tale of courage and resilience teaches us that silence can be a heavy burden, one that far too many children carry in the shadows. When we stand by and let bullying fester, we not only allow the cruelty to continue, but we also rob ourselves of the chance to make a difference. Each of us has the power to speak out, to be a friend when it matters most, and to foster a culture of kindness and support. So, I encourage you to reflect on this. Have you ever witnessed someone being mistreated and stayed silent? What could you do differently in the future? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your voice matters. And if you found this story inspiring, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Stay tuned for more stories that encourage dialogue and promote understanding, as we delve deeper into the subjects that impact our lives and the lives of those around us. Let's learn together and create a world where every child feels valued and safe.